Hey everyone, good afternoon, good evening. It's April 27th. It's a special day for our family. My son turned 13 today. I can't believe that. I know, it's so crazy. So I wanted this meeting to be kind of like what it already started out to be. Cindy and I were chatting right before we started the recording just about what was going on in her business, just kind of chatting with each other. Okay, let me add Michelle. And I kind of wanted just to check in with everybody and see what's going on in your businesses. And just so we can all kind of talk out scenarios or situations that, you know, maybe you need some support with in your business from other consultants, so we can help each other out. So this will be kind of like just a chat, like a gathering. We're all gathering together and just powwowing. So there's no real like training focus today. I just think sometimes we need to just collaborate as consultants, and you know, if there's a training that you may have heard recently, you are welcome to share what the highlights are that maybe, you know, you got ahas from it, so somebody else can maybe be inspired to go watch that training. Or if you're trying anything new in your business that you're excited about, I'd love to hear about it, because I think that's the best way we all learn, is kind of hearing from other people's experiences. So does anybody have anything they wanted to share or start off with, or conversation starters? Okay, go ahead and unmute yourself, Cindy.
So first, Melissa, I want to say thank you very, very much. Everybody knows technology is not my best friend, and I was having very much difficulties on Canva. Was it Canva? Canva last night. Took me 3 hours. But thank you, Melissa. Yeah, that was crazy. But oh my gosh, I had something to say and I forgot. So I will go back on mute and let somebody else go.
Well, really fast, while you're on, what did you do on Canva? What were you doing that you needed help with?
The live bingo game. I have my live bingo game on Thursday. Oh, okay. Thank you for reminding me. My live bingo is on Thursday. And I went to Walmart, and of course, they have every card game and every board game imaginable sold out. So we are just going to make cards and put the scent of the month sticker on them. And I'm just going to put them on index cards until I can get some cards.
Awesome.
I don't know what else to do. But I've been just doing a lot more with my team. Granted, my daughter-in-law is about ready to give birth any second now. But everybody else has been jumping on, well, only 2 others, but they've been jumping on. My son jumped on, you know, 1 or 2, so that was cool. Just, you know, showing them little things I've learned. The video YouTube, I don't know if it was YouTube or live, where you showed us how this is bent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I showed them that. The name tags, how to cut this off and make this a name tag. I had a couple people really thrilled with that. I thought it was like the best thing. So just showing stuff like that.
Elaborate on name tags. I'm not quite sure if I know that trick.
So on there, because, you know, we of course change our wax all the time, and we probably have, I don't know how many warmers around the house, but anyways, it takes probably 3 or 4 of the clams, right? Mm-hmm. And all the warmers. So we have a whole tub out in the garage of empty clams. And that sign I used to have behind me, I'm changing my office right now, but that was made out of all the tops of them. So we have a whole tub outside. So one of the trainings I saw was to cut this off, cut the top of it off, and trim it, and use this as like a name tag, like when you have a big order.
Oh, cute. I love that.
So I've just been, you know, I've been bored.
Hey, that's what this is about. Yeah, finding new tricks. And you know what? Thank you for sharing your bingo idea as far as your cards, because I have one tomorrow night, and I'm still like, was kind of conflicted of what I was going to do because I couldn't find any either. And I was kind of saying, okay, do I find, because they do have like some apps that you can download to do the bingo thing, but I think because we're on a screen, I think it would probably make more to have the like cards. So you just inspired me to go that way. So thank you.
I was looking at the apps, but again, me not being technical, I thought, you know what, something's going to happen. So I'm just going to.
Right. I'm with you. You know how many technical issues I have on a regular basis.
And we have all those, so many Scent of the month stickers left. And I thought, okay, I'll just push it till next month. And I'm like, no, because I don't want to do that. I just want to just keep, plugging along. So.
Very cool. So you're going to use the Scent of the month sticker is like, I'm just making sure I understand what you're doing. So you're going to have them pick like different fragrances instead of card
I'm putting a number right here. And just so it kind of looks more than just a number.
Oh, I get it.
The month sticker down here.
Okay, that's cute. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Very cute. I was thinking that you were gonna like have them like go through their catalog and write down like 5 scents, and then if you call a scent, they win, or like it's considered a number or something. That's what I was thinking you were saying.
Good idea.
I don't know. I guess we can do it in different ways, right? Very cool. And I heard Melissa's bingo went well. So can we hear a little bit about that, Melissa?
I did. Speaking of technical difficulties, like I learned a lot, and I watched the in group Make It Happen, like I think 3 or 4 bingos, and I'm glad that I did because I felt more confident. But one of the things that I kept seeing was that if you do a bingo in an event, Facebook blocks people's comments if they comment too much. And by commenting too much, like when Jen Spear is on my team, she did a bingo party, and I think I commented like 4 or 5 times in 2 minutes, and Facebook blocked me.
Oh no.
So I want to say 4 people on my bingo game blocked.
Oh my
So
God.
I had anticipated that happening. So I had told them I wanted to pin a post saying, if you have technical difficulties, because I didn't want to say if Facebook blocks you, because then I didn't want people to get freaked out and not play.
Right.
And it's just from that event. So I've learned the next time I do bingo, I'm not doing it in an event. I'll be doing it in a group or on my business page. But an event really limits how Facebook lets you talk to people. And especially with, I guess, the limited employees that they have there, everything's just kind of like on, like they're robots or whatever, or monitoring everything. So it's not, you can even report it and say, hey, this isn't spam. Because it tells you flat out, Facebook protects community from spam, and you look like spam.
Wow. I'm so glad you shared that, because I'm doing my first one tomorrow night, and I'm doing it in my VIP page, which is a group. So and I was conflicted, like, because people were like, I've heard different things like event or group page. And so I'm doing it in my VIP page just to do it with my VIPs as like an opportunity for them to win prizes, but also I'm using them as guinea pigs so I can try everything on them first, since they're my like good clients and I know them well. So thank you for sharing that, because that made me go, I was like, I don't know if I should on my next one or not do it in an event. So that probably just nipped that in the butt for me.
So the way around it is because I know people already have stuff planned, because when I found out about it, it was like the day before I was doing it. I was like, oh my God, I can't just change everything now.
Yeah.
And so the way that I went around it was I said multiple times, like, if you have any technical difficulties, here's my phone number, send me a message on Messenger. We can still call bingo. You can just text me. And like 3 people did. So.
Oh, good. I was just going to ask, did anybody actually, because some people, like, if anything happens, they get like, oh, forget it, so that's good that they were willing to kind of, oblige to whatever was going on. So that's,
and I said it multiple times throughout the bingo, and people really liked it. Like for me, I think we get so inside of our own heads and like jaded. I'm just like, oh, these people are probably sick and tired of me. Like, oh, this is one of our Scentsy Buddy clips, and it's got a scent pack and smell its butt. And, like you're saying all these things, and, you just think like, you talk about boring things like dryer discs. And like I went on for, I think over an hour, and everybody stayed and everybody said it was really good. So I was like, okay. And I talked about everything.
Did you get any type of feedback like that from them? Like, oh, this was fun, or like,
Oh yeah. Everybody said they wanted to do it again. I booked 3 bingo parties off of it. I had
yay!
like a qualifying party order because of it. And like I had invited my husband's uncle Bubba, and I invited our neighbor. He's like this dude that's friends with my husband.
Okay.
And he said, I want to do a party. I was like, okay.
Well, shoot, that is awesome.
Yeah, he said it was really fun. And he said, because they're drinkers. And so he was like, is it okay if we drink? I was like, go ahead. And he said it was too hard because they had been drinking, I guess, all day. And so when the bingo party started, he said it was too hard trying to keep track of the numbers. But yeah, but he was like, yeah, it was great. It was fun. It was perfect the way you did it. And I was like, okay. He was like, I'm mad that you didn't tell me. This was another takeaway. He was like, I'm mad that you didn't tell me about some of these things. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, I'm like, it's all in the catalog. You've had 3 catalogs. Like, and he was like, well, I didn't know about this. And I didn't know about, like, he didn't know about the wall fan diffuser. He didn't know about the mini fan. I'm like thinking to myself, I told you about these things. Like, but it's in, and then you get into your head and you're like, I don't want to bug people all the time. And I flat out told him, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm human. And I just, I'm a Scentsy person, and you know that, but I don't want always to be what I talk about to you, Scentsy. And so I feel like that gets salesy to me. He's like, girl, I don't care. I love Scentsy. Tell me everything. I was like, okay. So that was kind of a neat little thing to hear also.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Sometimes we have to not do something in order to know that it's important to them. I actually just had a client that she is a former consultant's cousin. So this former consultant did a party. She does a party with me every season now. And her cousin always buys like $200 worth of stuff. And so I've always talked to her about like, well, you should be the consultant and you should, because you buy, and she goes, no, she's like, I want to buy from you. I've had a lot of people like that the last couple days that I've been talking to about joining over and over again that buy that in bulk. And one thing that she said to me, she goes, I want you to let me know every time you place an order, because I run out of stuff faster than my cousin does a party. And I said, okay. So this time around, she just ordered like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago now. And I texted her, I said, I'm following up with you. I'm placing an order, and I'm following up to see if you need anything, because you told me to let you know. She goes, first of all, I want you to know you're never bothering me. And so it felt good to kind of like hear that, because I'm like, I'm just following up the way you told me to, like, even though you just literally ordered like 4 6-packs in like 2 months ago, like you said. And she's like, I thank you, you're awesome. She goes, and then she sent me a $200 order again. And I'm like, are you sure you don't want to just join? She's like, LOL, yes, I'll let you know if I change my mind. I was like, okay. But it's so neat to hear that feedback, right? Like, yeah. No, I do want to know everything about your products, That's awesome.
And then the only other tip I can give, because nobody talked about this in any of the other bingo parties that I've seen, multiple winners. Like, what happens when multiple people won? And then I also wanted to include my team, and I didn't know how to do that because I didn't want just all my team members to show up and then like have them win and not have my customers win. Like, that felt weird to me.
Right.
So I invited them, and I had gifts or not gifts, but prizes just for my team.
Oh, that's
ready. Good. So that, and if somebody did win twice, so I had one customer that won twice, what I did was I just kept going with the round. So okay. She won, and I upgraded her prize. So she won twice, so I upgraded her prize. I just doubled the price, like the prize total.
Oh,
and
okay.
And that's how I did that. And then I just kept going, and then I had a team member win that same round. So then so then Jen won, and then I just kept going. So that was how I handled that. And it worked really well.
Well, thank you for sharing that, because sometimes we don't know what to anticipate that might happen. Like I wouldn't have thought about, what happens if 2 people but win at the same time.
If you decide you don't want to have one person win twice, and I would just set up those rules beforehand and then let everybody know. And then the other thing that I learned with Jen's bingo party was that people didn't know how to play. Like, they didn't understand what to do with their 5 numbers. So okay. I because of her party, I had explained, you picked your 5 numbers, you got 5 more or whatever more for doing the things. Every round, I'm going to pick numbers. Every round, you use those numbers that you have. And if I call any 5 of them, because they were thinking it had to be like in a row or.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, if it was any 5 of the numbers that were called, and then it didn't carry over to the next round. A lot of people had that confused also.
That's awesome. That's good
So
information.
those were like good things. And I'm going to try to do another one again this week. People really liked it. So I'm like, okay, everybody's bored. Let's do it. If I get some orders, I do. If not, then whatever, at least for fun.
And you get more experience, right? Like
Yeah.
you get more comfortable doing it. Yeah, the more you do it. I was thinking, I'm like, I should maybe do it like once a week for the next couple weeks for my VIP page, just so everybody can have a chance to play and have fun, and I can learn as much as I can. That reminds me of when people join, when they're brand new, we always encourage them to do several launch parties in a row. Like try to do one or 2 a week for like 6 weeks. So the people that don't get to show up or can't show up to a certain launch party, you have like a stream of days and times that they can kind of choose from. And so you can, within that time frame, you're touching pretty much all of your warm market. And it's more likely for them to get off to a sensational start because they don't limit their launch to one day. And so that's kind of like the same thing. If we are doing several bingo parties, if they can't be on at that time, but they want to participate, they may catch the next one or whatever. And we're also marketing the fact that, this is something I might want to do as a host, like if they do participate. And so we're really opening up another whole other realm to parties in our business by doing this bingo. And so even when the world opens up again, it's something that we can continue to do for those people that, don't necessarily want to do a on location party, so very cool. Michelle Cohen or Aubrey, do you guys have anything that's going on in your businesses you want to talk about or share since you're on live? Aubrey, can you hear us?
So right now I'm focusing on, because I know a lot of people are getting like so much of their sales from just following up with current customers.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my aunt today were talking about like our customer base isn't exactly where we want it. So even with following up with past customers, it's like almost still not enough for us to be where we want to be. So we're trying to find out how, like in right now's crazy times with people, everybody's like locked up in home, how are people finding new customers? Because it's not like you can just go do an event and find new people. So we're trying to kind of brainstorm with each other and our teammates. How do we find new customers with today's circumstances?
So I'm going to share a couple ways that I have gotten new clients, customers in the past since this shutdown. One, it's so important for us as team leaders, because all of us that are on are all lead consultant and above, to make sure that you are making your title at least lead every single month, because then your website is going to be available when customers are shopping online and they don't have a consultant that they specifically know a website to. You're going to get pushed to their list of the closest people that are to them. I've gotten probably about 5 new customers from my website just because they didn't have a consultant and they looked through the list of people in their area and they chose me. I know Melissa got some as well. We were just talking about it earlier this morning. And so that is so important. And I know Michelle Cohen gets a lot of random website orders from people. So that is something that should be vital. And even if you're not a leader, for people that are watching on Facebook or the recording, that's something to strive for, is because when you become a lead consultant and above, your website gets marketed on Scentsy.com. So you'll get pushed and funneled these random customers that don't have a consultant to your website if you're in their the closest area. So that should be motivation in itself to bring somebody on as a partner in your business and to get to that lead consultant and above title. Another way that I've recently been getting orders is new customers is I've joined some groups in Facebook that I've never really, and this is something you guys have probably heard a lot over the years, but I've never actually done that. I knew it was a good strategy, but I never really had anything that I felt like really connected to that I, want to stay involved with. But recently, there's been 2 groups that have been formed. Well, not formed. I've joined and one that was formed recently, and it was more like a worldwide fast. I think you're a part. You're the one that added me to it. And so I've been connecting with people that just because of the things I've been talking to them about, and they see that I'm a Scentsy consultant because they friend me, and I've had them, want to order, and they placed orders on my website because of that. And then another group page that I joined is because of something that has come about in my life that is been a very, I don't know how to say this. It's just what's going on in my life right now that I kind of need that support from people that have that common interest. And so I've made friends that way just by talking about that subject and nothing about Scentsy, but because I'm very branded with my my profile photo, with my business pages, where I work. A lot of people one thing I want to make sure people know, that you don't want to put that you are you work at Scentsy, because then you're marketing thinking that you work at the home office, which you don't. And second of all, you're marketing Scentsy.com, not your business page. So you want to put that you work at, for instance, let me share my screen so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. Those of you that are like me, that are visual people. Okay, so if you go to my page, which, can you guys see my screen? Yeah, okay, sorry, it's loading. But I want you to see, today's the only day that I don't have my marketing, because it's my son's birthday, so I put that there. But if you see, I have adding value to lives, and I put the website so they can automatically click, and then I'm the owner and operator at Jess and Mitch Markowitz Independent Scentsy Consultant, Las Vegas, Nevada. So that's where they're going to go, so they know where and then it's going to bring them straight to my business page. Okay, and then here's my marketing. This is what I usually have on my profile, is this photo. And then I recently added the out of wax with my phone number and website, because I realized I am building a relationship base that I never really had with strangers because of these groups. So that's something to think about. Two avenues that 2 or 3. Oh, and then a third, I got it's so important to also get ourselves out. And this is just kind of I started the class before the shutdown. Okay. So I was already a part of this financial class with my church, and we moved it to Zoom. Okay. But because of that, I've been able to create relationships because of that. And then one of our assignments was do service for what's going on. So all the girls got together and all the guys got together, and the girls, we got, here in Vegas, we have this foundation called the Candle Lighters. That's what our team in Vegas always donates to. So we got a bunch of supplies and stuff put together for the candle lighters. But then at the same time, one of our class members in the group, he's having a baby. So we put together a big gift basket. And of course, because I'm a Scentsy consultant, I put the blankie and the little sidekick thing in there. And the girl that was putting the basket together, she loved the blankie, and she ordered 4 of them for her future grandkid, and then 3 future nieces or something. And so, or her nieces are having babies. So as long as we're always thinking, how can I get my products out there and in people's hands? I've noticed recently, I've been doing some coaching with people, and they've kind of felt like, I've had people say to me, well, I don't want to always give Scentsy because I think that I'm pushing my products on them. Here's the thing. We own our own store. And so it's almost silly for anybody to expect anything other than Scentsy as a gift because we're business owners. And so if we've got stock that's sitting there that would be perfect for an occasion, like a baby, which I had, it's bad business and bad ownership of me to not put that in the hands of somebody for that specific purpose. So I just want to kind of encourage everybody to look at it as, if you know, that's like the owner of Ford to gift a truck from Chevy to somebody or to go and buy a Chevy truck when he owns the store, the Ford dealership. Does that make sense? So, but we have to have a mindset like that. And the people that think we're pushing their product on them generally aren't going to be your customers anyways. So, you know, you're just saving money because you probably got it for free anyways. But the right people are going to say, wow, this is you're actually marketing the opportunity when you're gifting products, because it's also making them go, wow, she must save money by gifting Scentsy products because this is what she does. And it gets people's mindsets in a different way of like, oh, well, maybe that's a good thing for me because I have a birthday gift or baby gift or wedding gift every other day, it seems like. That's how I've gotten some new customers in the last couple months since this happened. I don't know if anybody has any other tips that you may have. Please do, Melissa.
I do. I have a couple of them. And a lot of these things are all consistency. So it's not like something that I just started doing and then I saw a return with. So keep that in mind. But referrals, when I jumped out from my warm to my cold market, I asked all of the people, like I was in your same shoes. Like I had a good customer base, but it wasn't enough to really do what I was trying to do. So then I started asking them, you know, when I would follow up with them, hey, how are you doing? Is there anything I can get for you? If they said no, I would ask them, do you know anybody else that might be interested in the product or might be interested in it as a consultant? And I've gotten several referrals as people to join as well as hosts. I had one customer who referred 3 people to me. It was completely, I didn't expect it. It was a very last minute thing. She had made a big order. I had just delivered it. It was within the 1 week. And I said, hey, I just wanted to ask, if you know anybody that might be interested, I'm close to a big goal. I was like 800 away from 2,000, which is like, and it was like, I had 3 days left. So like in my mind, I couldn't do that. And so I had just threw it out there, asked her, and she ended up referring somebody to me that ordered $500 worth of Scentsy like that day. So I ended up hitting 2,000 plus, and it was through referrals. So I just delivered it. It was within the 1 week. And I said, hey, oh, that was so weird. I was like, I heard noises and I was like, what is that? Anyway, so referrals. And then the other thing that I've been able to get a few new customers with is through my business page, I do box reveals. So I record so I go onto my business page and then I talk about like the whiff box or whatever I got in, and I upload that to YouTube, and I'm very consistent with doing that. And it turns out people are watching them. I had no idea. And I ended up getting a customer in Tennessee that I had no idea who she was. She found me on YouTube, and she's a good customer. She purchases like every 2 weeks. She won't join my team, but she purchases every 2 weeks. And then the other way that I get new customers is I have, the raffle boxes or the event boxes. I have those in several businesses. I had challenged when I was going through my no challenge. That's a good one too, no challenge. When I was going through my no challenge, I had gotten brave and walked into the watering school that my son swims at. And I had just asked, hey, can I put a box here? And I bring them something to smell every month. I said, and some people were like, no, you can't. And then I said, well, if I bring you a bar of wax and, sometimes, sorry, let me rewind. Sometimes I have I'll offer them a warmer that I have just in stock, a scent of the month, like a warmer of the month that I just have had for like a year. So I'll bring that with me when I'm going into UPS and I'll say, hey, I would like to do random acts of kindness. You taught me that, Jesse. You taught me that, the random acts of kindness. And it's worked. So I have 9 businesses now. Some have warmers, some just have the boxes, but I get referrals through those things all the time and through fundraisers as well. I make sure everybody knows that I have fundraisers. And so I have one lady that does the Purple Stride, I think it's called Purple Stride fundraiser every year. It's for pancreatic cancer. And I've gotten like maybe 15 new customers just from her and following up, and some of them don't respond, but I just continue to follow up. Hey, how you do? I don't always talk about Scentsy. It's just like the last 2 months it's been, hey, I just wanted to check in and see how you were. I'm completely stir crazy and I just wanted to see how you were. If there's anything I can help you with, let me know. I have toilet paper if you need some. And some people have responded and said, thank you so much. And then they and like a week later they say, hey, I want to order something. And sometimes they don't say anything, but it's just that constantly talking to people. I go through my Maven a lot. I go through my workstation a lot for orders. And I'm always asking for referrals. And then if I find some people need like a motivation. So I'll come up with, if you give me a referral for an order, I'll give you a scent circle. If you give me a referral for a host, I'll give you 3 pack of bars. And if you give me a referral for, somebody that joins my team, I'll give you your pick of whatever warmer you want. And that works. So it works with whatever. And I use Hostess rewards for all those things. So it's not like I'm pulling it out of my pocket. I hope that helps.
I have a question for you, Melissa. So what is your verbiage for when you're asking for referrals? I'm assuming some people will want to hear that.
Okay.
Of exactly. And by the way, Melissa's actually going to be our guest speaker next week. So we're going to be learning a lot from her. And you're probably sharing a little bit of what you're going to share, but you can definitely reshare it but I'm just curious because I know I'm the kind of person that when I'm learning, I want to know, like, what are you saying? Because then I can reverbalize it in my own words if it's not exactly how I would say it, like personality wise, but it'll give us a direction of, when to say it and how to say it as far as what's working for you.
So, if let's say you're one of my customers and you purchased something from me recently, I usually reach out, hey, Jess, how are you liking your new Vino warmer? Are you absolutely loving it? It's absolutely amazing. It's beautiful. I love it. I hope you are too. And if they bought wax, then I'll say, how are you? Like, what's your favorite wax? And if, then I'll say, if there's anything I can help you with, please let me know. I'm here for you. And if they just say something like, oh, okay, I will, then I'll say, hey, by the way, do you happen to know anybody that might be interested in the product or interested in Scentsy at all? I'm looking for referrals. And I just say, I'm just flat out like that. It depends if I don't know somebody very well. And I do that a lot with asking people to join also, because that's kind of like an indirect way to join. I'll be like, hey, I happen to have yesterday I had a party order going and I had a $59 kit. And I asked 15 people, but I wanted to ask them, but I've already asked them. And so then anyway, I would just say, hey, I have a $59 kit available. Do you know somebody that might be interested in it? It would be a really great opportunity for somebody that might be struggling right now. And then the other way that I've been asking for referrals, some of the fundraiser people that I don't know too well, instead of saying, hey, are you ready to reorder or anything like that, I just said, how are your Scentsy smells right now while we're all stuck inside? I hope they're making you happy. And then one guy responded, yeah, it's awesome. Thank you so much. I said, well, if you know anybody else that might need that, will you let them know about me? Fragrance is a brilliant mood enhancer and I'd love to share that. And so he was like, yeah, of course. And so, I pretty much say those same things. I just try to be honest and, let them know flat out. And if I find somebody that needs I had somebody that gave me referrals. I said the same thing to her, the one that made me nervous. She had just placed a big order, and then I was like, oh, I'm so close. I'm $800 away from 2,000. And I said pretty much the same thing. I said, hey, thank you so much for your order. Do you happen to know anybody else that might be interested in Scentsy? I'm really close to a goal. And that was true. I mean, it was $800, but it was, $1,200 less than what I needed to get. So, and that worked. I started getting text messages from people saying, hi, this is Cheryl. Donna says I need to order from you. What is Scentsy? I was like, what? And I mean, I was embarrassed at the same time, but I was like, wow, praise God for this. Like, wow. And she was serious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
So I
you.
hope that answers. Yeah.
It does. It does.
I just flat out ask, do you know anybody that might be interested? I always say that.
For someone that may still be in the place in their mindset as far as like when nobody responds, they take it as, oh, they're not interested.
That's not true.
Okay, so what is your suggestions and what would you say to that? And how do you handle when nobody responds?
Well, I learned Michelle Brooks is my sponsor and my director, and she taught me when I first joined not to take it personally when people don't respond, because statistically it takes 7 to 10 7 to 10 times of reaching out, not necessarily back and forth, for somebody to actually respond to you. And unfortunately, one of the places that we get put in as a Scentsy consultant is now we are the Scentsy consultant. So they see, I mean, it's like when we get our emails from Target, we're not like, we see Target and we scroll right past it, but we know that email is there. We know that, Target is sending us stuff. So when I'm ready to get my cat litter from Target, like I can open it up and see what specials they have. And that's kind of how people put us in that little box. So them not responding to us isn't them saying, I don't like you, I don't want you to contact me. It's just, I'm not ready for Scentsy right now. It means no doesn't mean never, it means not right now. And so not getting a response from people to me is just like hearing no. So I move on. And then if, let's say, because you can see your text with people, and you can see like, oh, me. When I start to see that all of them are just all Scentsy related, then I'll switch it up and be like, hey, I was just thinking about you and I wanted to say hi. And then I just I'll do that a few times, and then eventually people respond. And I don't bother them like every week or 2 weeks. It's just kind of like they go up in my 1 month to 3 month follow-up, and I just continue to do it. I don't take it personally. I would definitely suggest don't put your emotion, don't attach your emotion to the actions that you're doing, because it's like that scenario. The waitress doesn't go and cry when she asks you if you want coffee. She's just giving you that option. And if you don't want coffee and maybe you change your mind later, then that's okay too. But they don't go into the back room and cry because you said, no, you don't want coffee. So you have to detach yourself from that. And then remember that you're a storefront. We don't have commercials, so we brand ourselves. We have to keep ourselves in front of people's minds, and that's where follow-up comes in. If you just stop texting people, then they're going to be like, oh, well, I guess you really don't want my business.
Or they think you quit.
Yeah.
A lot of people, because so many Scentsy consultants don't stick around, they just assume. It's funny to me when I haven't heard from somebody in a while, they'll text me, are you still selling Scentsy? And it's like funny to me. I'm like, do you know me, really? Of course I'm still selling Scentsy. But they just assume like everybody else, they do it for a little while and they quit. And so, yeah. Oh my gosh, that was just great information, Melissa. Thank you for sharing.
I answered your question. I feel like I ramble a lot.
No, I think it was great. Very, very detailed and explained a lot and very encouraging. Awesome. Anybody else have anything else to share? This actually went by pretty fast. We only have like 15 minutes left, and if we don't really have any other things to talk about or share. I moved my office downstairs, guys. It started out in the sunroom. That's why I bought this house, because I love how bright it is in here. But then what is it, 6 years ago, I didn't have the discipline to turn my business off. So we had to move myself upstairs. So by the time the day was out, I had to leave the room, shut the door, and come downstairs. And that was me leaving my work. But now I have a lot more discipline. So I'm happy to be downstairs again. And my son gets his big room again. He's like, I'm 13. I can't fit in this room anymore, Mom. That's what we've been doing all weekend, is moving everything down. Anybody have anything to share? Cindy, go ahead.
So Katie, actually, speaking of moving offices, Katie moved out last Monday.
Okay.
Very long time friend of hers. They've known each other since they were in preschool, 4 years old.
Oh, that's cute.
So they moved out together, and I've been doing the same thing. Ralph went in there and patched all her holes and painted the room.
Awesome.
And so we're kind of in the phase of doing that as well. So we're just going to kind of have like maybe 2 rooms for right now, just until I get everything
Oh,
situated.
that's cute.
So with the events this year. So
Awesome. Sometimes it's nice to just kind of refresh things and bring a new energy. And I was kind of feeling that myself. Like, I loved my office. Don't get me wrong. We had our neighbor, one of our Scentsy consultants on our team, her husband is he builds houses. And so he built in this whole thing for my office. And we didn't realize he actually built it into the wall. So when we went to want to move it, we're like, oh, but it was done so well. Mitch was able to take everything off the walls and put it in here, which was so awesome. So we didn't have to spend more money and he didn't have to do more work. But I was at the point of like, I need a change, and I didn't really know what until my son came to me and saying, Mom, I want my room back. And I was like, well, I kind of miss my sunroom, so maybe this might work. So it's kind of refreshing. All right, ladies. Well, the only comment I see on here was Christine was asking if this is a weekly thing. Yes, we do it every Monday except for major holidays, or if something comes up that I physically can't do it and I can't get somebody else to lead it for me in time or whatever. So hopefully you guys can put this on your calendar every Monday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I do always share it to the Facebook page for if you prefer to watch it that way, but I will say just being on and being able to collaborate and talk with other consultants is definitely very helpful for our businesses. So hopefully you can log on live, and I email the recording to everybody as well. So, all right, if there is anything else we want to chat about, Aubrey, did you just raise your hand? No? Yes? Okay. No. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for sharing and being on. And we'll see you guys next week. Don't forget about the Saturday call, too, guys, because that's an amazing call with lots of amazing people as well. All right. Have a great week, guys. Love you guys. Bye.